Hello, welcome to IDG Talks. My name is Anastasia Lavrina, and our guest today, joining me now from Turkey, Melih Demirtas, former diplomat and a researcher. Warm welcome to IDG Talks.
Thank you, Ms. Lavrina. It's a very pleasure to be with you again.
Thank you so much. What factors do you believe contributed to the success of the organization of Turkic States? Now I would like you to answer my question, talking about the governments within the organization and the role of this structure on the international level.
Yes, the organization of Turkic States, but the first name, as we know, the Turkic Council, is turning an important institutional mechanism since the beginning of the 2000s, since the maybe new millennium. We see that the new appearance of this organization between first four countries, Turkey, Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan, they had this initiative, and maybe as a very good coincidence, they had this important institutionalization in the zone of Nakhchivan. They said that in Nakhchivan agreement in 2009, they made this organization more powerful and more apparent in the international political area. Now we see that this council has turned into an institution, and it's called itself as an organization of peace and cooperation between the Turkic countries. Of course, in our countries, like in Turkey and Azerbaijan, it means that we need more stability zones, more political and economic stability zones in our regions, as we all know that the conflict areas have been always apparent since the end of the Cold War, but also Cold War and before the Cold War, we saw actually in 19th century, in 18th century, we saw these conflict areas to be solved, but the actors were always having some difficulties in finding single solutions. But now the community idea, the community understanding between the Turkic communities and Turkic states can benefit the zone of this benefits and economic and political understanding. And I say that with the new inclusion of Uzbekistan, for example, or with the new observer countries like Hungary or like the Turkmenistan, also the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, we say that this zone can have an enlarging effect, like the effect of the European Union once did, like the effect of the Latin American states, like the effect of the Asian states also. We can have this regional spirits between ourselves, first of all. It can affect our political or economic prosperity, and then it can affect also the area of this conflict zone, like we see in the Caucasian area recently, or maybe in the area of these southern regions, which are really have very humanitarian disasters still, unfortunately. I mean, the Middle Eastern area. But all these areas can be affected friendly and peacefully with the understanding of the Turkic Council and Turkic Organization of Turkic States now.
You rightly mentioned economic cooperation. That's one of the key priorities for all member states of the Organization of Turkic States. And what initiatives does the organization undertake to enhance the economic cooperation and trade among the countries? I would like to know your opinion.
Yes, the first idea of the middle corridor, as you remember that, with the understanding of this ancient Silk roads, and to revitalize this ancient Silk Road idea, starting from China, it is the Silk Road project. But now, with the initiatives of the Turkic states, we see that the Silk Roads is also within the spirit or within the ideology of Turkic states for centuries, maybe. We now call it maybe at the middle corridor between Turkey, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, and Hazar, of course, area. But this middle corridor also can be combined with the northern and southern areas. This zone of transportation or this zone of commercial friendship can be revitalized or can be maybe more strengths with this organization of Turkic states diplomacy. The diplomats, with the help of the tradesmen, with the help of the new cultural and social representatives from the different societies, also from Azerbaijan and Turkey, as we all know that in the recent era, we strengthened our relations. And Mr. President Aliyev said that this is the area of the Turkic brotherhood now. This is the area of maybe Turkic friendship and Turkic kinship now, and between these conflict areas. Now we can understand that this zone of transportation can, first of all, benefit the states at the first end. But it is not only transportation, but maybe in the next level, the customs, and the next level, the specializing and expert exchanging, and also maybe the understanding of the barrier of language. I mean, has been always a barrier of language, but the Turkic states can communicate between each other in one language. We know that. These Turkic dialects are different, we know that, but we can also exceed this barrier of language in very, very soon. I mean, it could be for English, it could be very simple translation from Russian, from Azerbaijani or Kazakh languages, but we can see that these limitations are no limitations anymore, because the end of the Cold War symbolized that we had very important difficulties to connect each other. No, there are difficulties, yes, but we can exceed it with the understanding of cooperation and, of course, communication, first of all. We can communicate now, maybe with the new technology of artificial intelligence very easily. We can communicate now as we now do it in 5 or 10 minutes. We can arrange it very simply in internet, in our phones, in our computers, and our tradesmen and diplomats can do that very, very easily now. And the political crisis, even the political crisis, can have some simple solutions with the simple connections. And organization of Turkic states can have real effects on this.
I would like to talk with you more in details about the cooperation between the member states of the Organization of Turkic States when it comes to security and stability in the regions. We know about the intentions of some outside powers to intervene into the domestic policy of the member states of the organization. Therefore, the security element should be among the top priorities at the meetings, among the discussion of the high-level officials. Where do you see the prospects for the cooperation, and how exactly the member states of the Organization of Turkic States can cooperate in the sphere of security?
Security is the number one issue for all states. As we all know, that the nation-state idea is also an important idea of securing its area or its territory. It's the right of independence for all countries, and the other country must respect the territorial integrity or communitarian integrity of the other state. This is the number one rule of the world politics, of the international politics still. It begins in 18th, 19th centuries, and now in 20th and 21st century, we cannot decrease the importance of this level of this independences. But the organizations like the Organization of Turkic States also reinterpret these independences in benefit of these nation states. We see that the security idea, which is a handicap, which is maybe a dilemma for Turkey for maybe tens of years. I mean, as you see that our region is not a simple or very peaceful region, unfortunately. In northern, in southern, in our western or some eastern regions, we see the potential of this crisis. But the Organization of Turkic States ideas, first this conflict decreasing, or first communication idea, maybe can have the idea also changing the military personnel, changing of the security personnel between each other soon, very soon. I mean, it also started. We have a very important interaction between our brother country of Azerbaijan. As we all know, the Turkey and Azerbaijan relationship is a high-level relation, but we can also this level of intensity between Kazakh brothers and Kyrgyz, also between Uzbek, and very soon I think this Turkmen and the other Turkic organizations, members and observers can benefit from the security projects. It can start with this exchange of this professionality in our regions. Turkey has, again, unfortunately, of this maybe negative experiences, as a high level of experience of security and high level of experience of military or intelligence services. Azerbaijan is also now a professional, a very secure country, especially after the very rightful acts in Nakhchivan, in Zengezur corridor, and in the understanding of this territorial integrity against Armenia and against these separatist groups. And now we can see that this professionality can benefit also the other countries in our region. And we can start it with maybe the other side of Khazar. I mean, Kazakh and Kyrgyz brothers can benefit from this exchange projects. The costs, I mean, especially for the trade volumes and especially for these trade goods, the costs of the exchange of goods can maybe frighten some diplomats or frighten some trade experts, but we can also decrease these costs, I mean, in trade. But what can also decrease these costs also into security changing. When we build, for example, a common realms of producing common equipments of military, common equipments of intelligence products or intelligence services or educations. We can do that, and we can combine this professionality. I mean, coming from Kazakh, coming from Kyrgyz or Azerbaijani countries, also Turkey, we can have this common realms to find some also secure and security projects very soon.
Well, in my previous question, I mentioned some countries who are trying to intervene into the domestic policy of the countries in our region and in Central Asia, for example. And we know about the intentions of some Western powers to increase their presence in the regions. They're trying to use some weak powers to promote their own interests, which is not only benefit the countries in the region. Therefore, how might the Organization of Turkic States react on that?
You mean maybe the Western powers as the European Union, United States, or maybe France, Brussels? Yeah, we see many actors. They are important actors. They have a very rich history. They have a very rich culture of diplomacy. Also, of course, armies. They have a very rich of understanding of political and social history and philosophy. We know that, and we respect that. But also, we have a very rich, as the members of the Organization of Turkic States, we have a very rich of experience. I mean, in social sense, in military sense, also in political ideologies and social philosophies. Also, we have now many things to say. I would not like to say always this Orientalist understanding. It is a maybe hesitant ideology still, but this Orientalism, what Edward Said said in 60s and 70s, we say that this Orientalist ideology can real effect on some diplomats and on some military men, especially from United States, France, or in Europe. First, the partners or friends from these Western countries must understand that this Orientalism, also in our level, maybe this Occidentalist, which is at a same level of negative thing like the Orientalist understanding, which is like to be hesitant to Western countries. No, we are not hesitant to them, but they must also not have some biases against this members of the Organization of Turkic States. We are not maybe the sick man of the Europe, as the very famous saying of the 19th century. We are not sick man of Caucasia, I mean, in Azerbaijan, or we are not the sick man of Central Asia in our Kazakh or Kyrgyz brothers. No, we are now very healthy situation. We have now a very potential situation with our young populations. We are a very, like an umbrella opinion makers. I mean, in very different levels. We can see the Eastern partners, we can see the Western partners, we can see the hesitations of Russia, or the 6,000 or 7,000 years of strong actor of Iran. We can see these important actors in this region hesitations very well. Also in the southern region or Arab countries, Israel, these all actors have some voices. Or Western brothers also, although they have very important political thinkings, we know that, but they must confess, or they must maybe understand that these different ideas, these different levels of potentiality or experiences have now a meaning with the new organizations like the Organization of Turkic States. We respect them. With the European Union ideology, it is a very maybe number one ideology of the 20th century for friendship and stability. But now it is also time for the other organizations to come to the world. I mean, both politically and socially.
I see. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining IDT Talks today.
Thank you, Mr. Arena. It's a very pleasure again.